in the moment of dying, when people have near-death experiences, they come back and they give us this information, they kind of summarize their life. It kind of flashes the important, the significant stuff. Is like a movie in fast forward or fast backwards, I'm not sure. So all these things pop up. Like, okay, you heard about that. Okay, why that happens, I've got no clue. But it does happen. So it is a very good time to have your client do this purposely. But with the purpose of saying, so what was this all about? But now they're still in human form. They haven't quite died yet. They are about to die. And it doesn't matter the circumstances of the death. It's irrelevant. Even if it's a violent one or a painful one or whatever. Just before you go over swiftly, because we don't want them to suffer, just make sense out of this. What was this life all about? What's the purpose of it? Yeah? So that they can take this consciously with them. Now we're already a step further. So visualize it like that. And for me, intuitively, it felt like that when I was observing a death. It's almost like I guided you through yesterday in the resource state where you were so relaxed that immortal part of you stays very connected, obviously, because you're alive. But it kind of lifts out of you. Right? This is, if you need to visualize it in order to facilitate, that might be a visualization that might help you. So visualize that immortal part lifting out of that shell. Emmanuel says dying is like kicking off a pair of shoes that has been too small a long time ago. Okay, so it's being free. And now take that moment, that hovering. There is a separation, but the human body is now dead. The brain has stopped working, the heart has stopped working. There is some functions that take some more time. I think the nails still grow or whatever, but that has got nothing to do with consciousness. So, take that moment and visualize with me, but not assuming that it is like that. Now that hovers there, now you can sum up the life again, but it's already going to be different. Because when you're still human and you're trapped in your fear and your emotions and I'm leaving my loved ones behind and I'm scared and what's going to be on the other side, the summing up of the life is going to be very different than seconds later. Because there's no fear. It's over. It's usually coming with a huge relief. Kicking off the shoes. Right? And now, quite understandably, the further that part goes away, the more overview you have and the less emotionally attached you are. So you can ask that soul, and as you just on your way, just reflect back. Just like I did yesterday. Look lovingly at that body and make sense out of what happened here. And you can always, like Roy does nicely in his teaching, you can always, has this been communicated to Anton's conscious mind? So that this information is not by coincidence with amnesia kind of forgotten, because that's what it's all about. It's not the incidents and this significant thing and this. That is just maybe a little bit voyeurish, but that's not really. It's the whole thing. Why did I have to live a life like that? From a human perspective and from a soul perspective. Sum it up. Is there any learning that then you're free to, the moment that it's being fed to the conscious mind, what else can you learn from that? How is that knowledge important for Anton in this life? So you close the book. It's over. The movie is finished.